Great. So as you all know, we're going over the fulfillment process today. We're going to be covering luxury mail, luxury drive, luxury listing, and a few others. Everything is included in the deck. Just so you guys know, anytime things get a little repetitive, to save time, we're going to gloss over those a little bit quicker. Make sure everybody's joined. Okay, so starting with the first slide here. So you all have a completely new way of ordering. So we don't have to worry about, are we going to MotorSend for luxury drive, and worrying about that verbiage. I do have a rebranding cheat sheet up here for you in the bottom left in case you have questions regarding that. But overall, we're going to be having all of your orders come through luxurylineorders.com. And our hope is that this really streamlines the order process for you. Everything from orders, change orders, to count requests, etc. Okay, so to give you a quick gloss over on how this presentation is to be used, think of it less like a PowerPoint and more like an interactive tool. All of these, all the times you see something underlined and in this gold writing here, it's going to be hyperlinked to a different slide within this presentation. So just to give you a quick example of that, if you click luxury mail, it's going to bring you right to luxury mail and allow you to start right from there and go through the luxury mail order process. So you don't need to worry about flipping through the, I don't know, hundreds of slides that are in this presentation. And when you're done, down in the bottom left, you can just come up back to your last viewed slide and it'll bring you right back. So as I mentioned, anytime you see those underlined gold letters, think that's a hyperlink. If it's a URL, it's taking you to a website. If it's not a URL, it's taking you within this document to that specific landing page or product. So just to give you a quick background of what we're going to need going into a campaign, of course, before you're filling out an order form, let's get that contract complete, that sale closed, tie up all those loose ends. Be sure to pull a count before placing an order and before hopefully even pitching the product so you know that there's enough inventory with the topic you're discussing or the product you're discussing. Want to make sure that all creative and creative materials are in line before you get going. So that's everything from your high-resolution images to copy, etc., and we'll touch on that more in later slides. And lastly, I just want to remind everyone that your sales reps are here as a tool, your Media Prowler reps are here as a tool for you. So if you need assistance on a subject line call to action, that's great, and we're more than happy to help you. Just give us a heads up so that we know to be getting our creative thinking caps on and coming up with great subject lines and things like that for you. So getting started with luxury mail, as you all know, luxury mail is the one-time email blast. It pulls on our catalog of over 95 million email addresses and touches on all zip codes within the United States. I'm sure you're all familiar, so we're going to gloss through this. So here is the fulfillment process, and just to reiterate, all of these links on the left-hand side are hyperlinks. So if you're interested in luxury mail and you can't quite remember the process for creative materials, clicking on Submit Creative Materials will pull you right to that.
And just a reminder, let's please put all of our phones on mute so we can hear Molly loud and clear and we continue with recorded presentation today. Thank you, guys.
So step one of luxury mail is going to be to pull a count. As you guys know, we have this great white label count system that really allows you and your client to be in the driver's seat and autonomously pull those counts. It's a great way to get them more acclimated with digital marketing and with their targeting capabilities. Those are linked below. If you have any questions, the video tutorial is also linked. So second step here is going to be to place an order now that you know how many emails and prospects you're going to reach. Remember, there's a 48-hour window that you have before deployment date. Anything within that 48-hour window or 2 business days will incur a $150 rush fee. So the process is outlined here down at the bottom. A few things that we need for the order form. the first thing listed is, of course, the URL to place the order. The second would be to denote your market. So please be sure that instead of just placing modern luxury, that you indicate your specific market. It helps our sales reps here really expedite reaching out to you, getting your creative going, and really just works well for the whole process. Third would be your target audience. We want to make sure to list not just the geographic target, but also the demographic target so that we're very specific about the targeting capabilities. And fourth is going to be that as you fill out this order form, you submit it, of course, and be sure to get that confirmation. If you have any questions or want to go over the order form more in-depthly, you can reach out to your designated rep, and they can hop on a screen sharing call with you.
And also want to just chime in here too, feel free to please loop in Michael Capace, as he is a guru with this order form system as well, and he can help you too with processing your order. So whether it be your designated rep here at Media Prowler or Michael Capace, very well versed with our order for entry system, so two options in terms of assistance.
Great. So the third step would be to submit your creative materials. There are two options. I'm going to cover first our in-house design team and then a client-provided creative materials option. Please remember with creative materials to, when you're submitting them, indicate the order number. It really helps keep everything clear and removes any possibility for error in that respect. So first, if you're utilizing our in-house design team, please remember that this incurs a $100 hard cost fee. And to do this, we do need a little bit of guidance from the client and also from yourself in terms of materials. So it's really, really helpful if we know what the campaign's goal is overall, whether they want to boost sales or drive people into an event. It's really helpful to know that because it really fuels the call to action and fuels any feedback that we're going to give you on the call to action. Please supply that if the client has one they already have in mind or are interested in. Third, we're going to need high-resolution images, logos, photos, etc. And we need those in JPEG, PDF, or PNG formats. We do not accept publisher files or anything like that. If you have any questions about what is okay and what's not, just reach out to your rep and they'll clear everything up with you. And the fourth would be any copy that you want included in the body. Often we're redirected to websites for copy, which is great and gives us a lot of background on the client, but doesn't necessarily give us a lot of texture in terms of what they're looking to gain with the campaign as a whole. So more than just knowing about the client, we need to know what their goals are, and that's what we're looking for with body copy. The second option for creative materials would be to complete a PDF working with your client, or they can do it themselves. And we can rehost a completed camera-ready PDF or HTML. You have the option of utilizing our templates online. Again, if you have any questions about how to access those, feel free to reach out to your rep. They are on MediaProwler.com, and you can go in and tinker with code to really create something custom for your client that still maintains a great 60-40 text-image ratio. The fourth step is going to be approving a proof link. So once you submit creative materials, our creative team and our graphics department is going to get to work, and we'll turn around a proof link to you that outlines what the email is going to look like in an inbox. You can go back and forth with your rep in terms of any changes you'd like to make. Please remember that we have a max of 3 changes for each proof before we begin to incur a $25 per change fee. So those first 3 are built into the design process. Once a proof link is ready to go, be sure to reply with approved for a test email. This signifies to your rep and also to our data team that you're ready to receive a test email and that the proof is completely approved. And lastly, when looking over a proof link, please be sure to double check subject lines and other aspects of the campaign that may not be, forefront and center on the proof link, but are going to be very clear through the email process. So check what name is going to be displayed on the email and that subject line as well. And the fifth step, as you can imagine, would be to approve the test email. So after we get an approval for the proof link, we'll send out a test email. This is a great way for your client to see exactly what it's going to look like in their inbox, and then we can go back, do any changes that they feel are necessary, and once that is ready to go, you would reply with approved to deploy, and we'll greenlight the campaign in our system to deploy at its designated date. Something I want to highlight here is that test emails deploy to everyone on the seed list. So if someone, say your manager, for example, or someone else at your client's company wants to receive the test email, be sure to include them on the seed list. If you run out of space to list them on the seed list section of an order form, you can always place them under additional notes. And the sixth piece of a campaign process is going to be more at the conclusion of a campaign. And this is when you'll receive your reporting. For luxury mail, it includes your clicks, click percentages, opens, and open percentages, as well as your impressions. If the campaign has requested a lead list, which incurs that $360 wholesale cost fee,
which is now included in the new restructured luxury mail system. So I'm just going to jump in here for just a second. So when you guys are selling this with reporting, it's going to include the 7-day luxury mail system that we've outlined. So it's going to include analytics for the 2 full email blasts to the entirety of the list and quantity ordered. It's going to include the 7-day results of the retargeting banner ads across those family-friendly websites. It's going to include social media analytics for the 2 weeks of the different social pieces that ran, and it will include the lead list. That's all included in the cost. You guys now have the most up-to-date calculators that Mr. Capace put together for everyone, so you can calculate and tabulate the cost based on that. But reporting is going to include all the metrics of the separate pieces of the luxury mail system.
And the last thing I want to highlight here are some of your deliverables and expectations from the luxury mail program. We just spoke about you're going to have access to all those analytics. You'll have the lead list information, which is first name, last name, email, and full postal information. Luxury mail does not include a cross-sales matchback, so very important to set that expectation with your client early on. And the last thing I want to highlight here is that lead lists will only be sent to reps after they've confirmed with their client that there is a 15% inaccuracy rate. And we also are looking for you all to communicate to your clients that this data is not compatible with transactional email ESPs. Really important to be transparent with that up front.
And that will be done actually during the sale, you guys. So I want to kind of just expand upon Molly's point here, and that when you're signing the contract for the sale, there's going to be, and we're working on a template for you guys, an extra piece of written documentation that says, yes, I've communicated to the client that these lead lists have an average of a 15% inaccuracy rate, and yes, I've communicated to the client that this, what is considered third-party data, that's the lead list, is not compatible with transactional email ESPs like a MailChimp, Emma, Constant Contact, or MadMimi. So this will be done in the beginning of the sales cycle when they've signed that contract, but we are not going to hand over the lead list to you until we've seen confirmation of that. And this is really just to circumvent having to go back after the fact and issues with clients going forward.
So something that may come up during a campaign is the need to change something on an order, whether it's a subject line or anything, anything that you type into an order form will need to be changed via an order form. It's just to make sure that all aspects of the Media Prowler team are on the same page and that we all know what your client's new direction is or new goal is. The link for that is up here. If you have any questions about how to fill out a change order form, just reach out to your rep and they can really highlight any issues that may arise or, put to bed any questions you have. And lastly, if you need to cancel an order form, here is the method for doing that. Short and sweet, we really do need a couple pieces of information, the reference number and the reason, as well as your contact information and the client. Please remember that orders canceled within 24 hours of deployment do incur a $160 fee. If you think the client may want to run the campaign later, best practice is to push it back a week or 2 weeks. and continue to work with them on creative and things like that so that you can really hold on to that sale, really make sure that you bring it to fruition best as possible. And here's just a list of reference URLs that's hyperlinked earlier in the site here, just so that you have them all in one place. So moving on, this is going to be getting into our behavioral products here, starting off with Luxury Drive.
And just a friendly reminder, please put your phones on mute because I'm hearing some background noises. I want to make sure that this is a great, clear recording for all of Modern Luxury to use for future use. So just please do us a favor and click the mute button. Thanks. Back to you, Molly.
Okay. So getting started with Luxury Drive, as you can see, we have that order form link at the top that will take you directly to it. Quick background on Luxury Drive. I'm sure you're all familiar, but it is an all-inclusive automotive program that allows you to win back those local automotive dollars by targeting active intenders. So really key pieces there to highlight for your clients. In the bottom, I have a couple pieces of just a full overall system and what you're looking at. So we do have the count system, that is the count request system, an email campaign which will capture your warm leads, the Hypomatic ads which will capture your hot leads, and this program, as our other behavioral programs do, has the ability to provide a cross-sales match back. So similar layout as before, here's the fulfillment process. You can feel free to click around and get pulled directly to what you're looking for, whether that be a change order form, reference URLs, etc. So count systems for all of the behavioral products operates a little differently than Luxury Mail. Think of it as Luxury Mail is this very large 95 million email catalog, whereas when we're working with a behavioral product, we're looking at more the people who have actively been searching over the past 7 days. So we're dipping into that catalog and we're pulling relevant information and relevant people from that. For that reason, it's not a static count system that you go in and tinker with. It's a request form. So under submit a request, I have the URL here to submit your count request. This is going to give you that active audience from the past 7 days. If you'd like to go back further, we can go back up to 15 days. Just indicate that on count request form. Of course, you can always submit a count request to your rep as well, to your media sales rep as well. So just to set some expectations here for the count request, on smaller counts, you're looking at about a 4 to 6 hour turnaround. A smaller count is going to be one that has one geographic target, broad criteria, and the example here is just 25-mile radius around one zip code, and it's people who are interested in used Fords. So a very petite count in terms of geographic search and also demographic search. A larger count is going to take longer. We like to have a cushion of a 24-hour turnaround. This is going to include multiple zip codes, multiple search criteria, and often hyper-targeted search criteria will take a little longer. So as you can see on this one, we're looking at not only household income and credit scores and what they're interested in, but it's many, many zip codes. I think we have 20 listed. Please remember that as you put in a count request and also as you do an order, our zip code cap is at 30 zip codes. So once you hit 30 zip codes, typically it's a good idea to scale back and see if maybe a radius would provide a more saturated count and if that's going to reach a greater number of people for you. But we do have that 30 zip code cap for both counts and orders. So some quick do's and do nots. So we want to look for counts that have a broad radius and geographic target. This really helps us get a saturated count and feel for potential in an area. We're not looking for narrowing down the potential by 5-mile radiuses. Often we get counts that are 50-mile radius, and then we'd like to see what it looks like at 45, and then at 40. This typically does not yield the results that we're looking for, not only in terms of numbers, but also in terms of potential. A 40-mile radius versus a 50-mile radius is not going to provide a large gap or a great way to narrow criteria. The second do not would be to request a radius under 15 miles. 50-mile radius tends to be a really, really great starting point for us, and we always like to start there to be sure we're hitting that 10,000 minimum before we get any more petite with our count. Another good do is just keep search criteria broad. So while we can get very, very granular with our data, we find that granular data like that is great for hyper-targeting, but not necessarily for getting a very saturated count. So keep it broad to start. We can always whittle down as we go, but we definitely want to start with something very broad. So the do not would be to look for a specific model of car in a 5-mile radius of the dealership because they have 15 extra cars like that on their lot and they want to sell those off. A better way to look at it would just be to look for someone interested in Acura, because that person is most likely going to be interested in your client's offerings or sales, regardless of if it's a 2010 or 2009.
And want to chime in really quickly here, expand upon Molly's point. If you're not sure if it's the most advantageous count request, reach out to your designated rep prior to placing the count request. Once you place that count request, it automatically populates to our back data team, and we're already pulling it. So to expedite that for you, ask Molly, ask your Listing Daily, ask Travis Ringzinger, ask Michael Capace, ask myself, is this something we can target? We're getting some counts, and this is not a joke, where it's, can we target people within a 5-mile radius around this dealership who are looking for Teslas, who are soccer moms, who have 2 kids, who have blonde hair, who have blue eyes? So be pragmatic. No, we can't target that granularly. I wish we could, but we can't. Cast that wider net, saturate that market, get your ad in front of as many applicable people, whatever the objective of that campaign is. Any questions, reach out to your reps and we'll be happy to clarify.
Great. So the second, third, fourth, and fifth steps get pretty repetitive here, so I'm just going to go through them a little on the quicker side. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your reps after. So placing an order, we have that same rush fee for luxury drive that we did for luxury mail. Please denote your market and please be specific with your targeting and let us know the demographic you're looking to target. Creative materials, exactly the same, both employ an email component and that component. We do need a certain amount of criteria from your client for our team to build it. And then if you're providing it, are certain things that we need for that as well. So we need that completed PDF or HTML. Again, the proof link approval procedure is the same as luxury mail. So you're just looking at receiving that link, going back and forth with your client and your rep to smooth over any issues, and then getting that approved for a test email. With a test email, as I said before, it will go out to everyone on the seed list. Please remember they deploy typically 24 hours before a deployment date. So really great expectation to set with your client about when they'll be receiving that test email. And once that is good to go, you can reply to the test email or forward it to your rep or just reach out to them directly through email and let them know that it is approved to deploy. Reporting schedule is a little bit different for Luxury Drive as it's tied to the campaign ending. So campaigns that end on Sunday through Wednesday, the reporting is distributed on Friday. Campaigns that end on Thursday through Saturday, reporting will be delivered the following Friday. The reporting not only lists your clicks, percentages, open percentages, but also includes your hot lead list. And reporting in general will come complemented with your warm lead list. For the warm lead list for these boutique behavioral products, same rules apply in that we will need signed confirmation from the sales rep saying that you've had the conversation about the inaccuracy rate with data as well as compatible ESPs. So two deliverables to highlight here would be your hot leads. We average about 4 to 6 hot leads per 10,000 active users targeted. Remember that your hot leads are the cherry on top of a campaign, and not necessarily a barometer for the overall campaign. The warm lead list, which is filtered to advertiser at the conclusion of a campaign on that reporting Friday. Again, those expectations of a 15% inaccuracy rate. Lead lists will be sent, again, after reps have confirmed compliance with the inaccuracy rate. Reporting docs, here are some averages for you to look over in terms of percentages that we typically see versus commercial email marketing percentages. And then the cross-sales matchback, we do have a one-sheeter of this that if you have not seen yet and have not received yet, you can reach out to your rep and we'll get that to you. The cross-sales matchback is 30 days up to 90 days after a campaign has run. And if that is provided by the advertiser, a list of emails, postal addresses, people who purchased or who came into the dealership, the cross-sales matchback can show us which one of those people came directly from this campaign, who was targeted, and then who actually made a commitment to your client. Again, highlighting the change order process and linking that for your reference. Same with the cancel order process. And then here are those URLs that you're going to be needing throughout the process of submitting and fulfilling a Luxury Drive campaign. So, to save time and not get too repetitive, I'm not going to go through luxury listing, the full spiel, or the other verticals we have on here in terms of products. You can always go through yourself and choose the specific slides you're looking to target and then go through within that slide the process. So everything is laid out by product, but it is very repetitive, so we're going to save a little time and only do the one behavioral product today.
So in punctuating what Molly said, essentially what we're saying here is that it's the same fulfillment process in terms of the Luxury Drive program. So luxury listing has the 48-hour turnaround time. We need those orders placed at least 48 hours in advance prior to the live deployment date. We need the same created deliverables, approval process in terms of approving the coded link, approving the test email. And I just really want to punctuate this with the saying that what you guys now have access to is one order form system. So instead of going to MediaProwler.com, going to MotorSend.com, going to all these different websites, it's LuxuryLineOrders.com, and your ability to now have this aggregated in one nice space. So takeaways for you guys is that after today, you'll have your own custom portal where you can field all of these requests into one particular portal for you guys. And then another great thing, and we can show you here on the screen, is here's LuxuryLineOrders.com. So the order form for Luxury Mail, Luxury Drive, you can have your count requests here, Luxury Listing, count request, order form, change order form, cancel order form. Luxury Weddings has been softly launched in some of the markets, so that can be placed here too, as well as Luxury Retail, another behavioral program. Last thing that Molly's going to go over today, for the sake of time, is we're working softly on a modern luxury repository for you guys. So this is going to be replete with everything you need for your own personal edification on the product, as well as helping you prepare for a sales call. So it includes things like templated proposals. It includes things like templated sales letters. It includes things like branded case studies. It includes FAQs per product broken out. It includes media kits. It really includes everything that you would need to help you prepare for a sales call. So we will constantly be updating this repository for you guys. Utilize it. Become familiar with this platform. A really great resource for you guys. As I get questions and as Molly gets questions coming in, we're saving those, putting them in a master FAQ document, and we'll continue to build upon this in 2018. So, takeaways of today, you guys will have access to, again, that PowerPoint we showed in today's presentation. Again, it's not just a PowerPoint, it's actually a tool, an interactive tool. It's 90 slides, but because Molly hyperlinked everything, you can take shortcuts on saying, how the heck do I do creative? I can't remember. Guess what? Go into the fulfillment doc, click on it, and it will outline everything we talked today. We're going to disseminate this reporting out to the entire team afterwards. And of course, any individual questions can be fielded directly to your respective Media Prowler reps, as well as Michael Capace and myself. So thank you everyone for your time. Hopefully this will be a learning curve for all of us. We understand that. Continue to ask questions, continue to familiarize yourself, and let's drive some revenue in 2018. Thank you guys. Take your time.
The whole thing echoed in my